want to show you something that happened earlier in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Please.
Sheriff's Office K9, don't move, you'll get bit.
I'm just hanging on to you, okay? Just want to make sure you don't have any sort of a neck injury. All right, just sit still, buddy.
Behind you, please. Behind you, please. Hands behind your back. Do not move. You reach for anything.
You got any other knives, brother? Right here. Man, you're carrying.
That was a clip from the #1 show on A&E. 2 million people watch Live PD every weekend. Now in its 4th season, Live PD follows 8 police departments, documentary style, across the country as they respond to emergency calls live. Fans post comments, they send tips to Facebook, Twitter in real time. And the show has grown into a national obsession. And with us, the team from the show, Dan Abrams, the creator, the show's other stars, Sergeant Sean Larkin, and Tom Morris Jr. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so Dan and I have a history I don't think I've ever told on air. Dan hired me at MSNBC. Thank you.
Smart move.
And I always knew that you were a brilliant mind. I mean,
Good eye for talent.
No, it's a brilliant mind. You created this show. Did you have any idea that it would turn into this cultural phenomenon?
Well, I didn't create the show. This is Big Fish Entertainment created it. I was hired before the show started.
I didn't know that. I was giving you credit you didn't deserve.
I know, and I was waiting for the folks from Big Fish to say, why are they saying he created it? But I was brought in early, before the show started, to think about, what will this show be? What will it look like? How can we deal with all these live departments at once? Because as you know, doing a couple of live events is hard.
Right.
At once. Now imagine doing 8 live events at once. Right. So we had to figure out how to make the show work. And I have to say, when the show started, it was a lot more chaotic than it is today. Meaning, we'd jump in somewhere and we would just stay for a second, then we would leave and we'd come out and we'd go check in with somebody else. And now we're able to take a deep breath and we can say, okay, let's let this play out. Let's watch a little bit more of what happens here. We can still come back to it, et cetera. So I think we've gotten a lot better.
So all of these things are truly live. Do you have a button ready to cut out? I mean, we've done live TV at MSNBC. You're in a car chase and you're watching and suddenly you don't know how this is going to end.
There's a delay.
There's a delay.
Yeah, there's a delay for that reason. It's mostly for the reason of, we're following police departments in real time. So anything can happen, but it also involves undercover officers, kids in a shot, social security numbers, all that sort of information we have to make sure doesn't make it onto air, but it is a limited delay and there's a very small window.
Tom, you guys have helped find lost children, a staggering number.
Yes, we've recovered 8 children with the help of the Live PD Nation, and we've caught about 3 dozen fugitives through our wanted segments on the show.
I mean, the power of this platform is endless in what you can do. Were you concerned, though, that, for example, shows like Cops that predated this have been criticized, and there was a worry that the face of a criminal often is someone who is of color or someone who doesn't have the money to hide behind a lawyer. Were you concerned when you joined to make sure that there's a balance of what really happens in the streets?
Well, because we go to so many different places around the country, you get to see policing in Louisiana.
Yeah.
You get to see how departments function in Rhode Island. So there's a balance just based on the geographic nature and how it's spread out around the country. One department does things this way. Tulsa Gang Unit does things that way. So I wasn't really concerned because we're really the third eye on what's happening. We're not there to judge it. We're not there to move it in any direction. We're just there to show you what these officers are doing as they encounter people on their shifts.
So, Sean, you were part of the gang unit in Tulsa. You've become so popular for reasons that I'll show you on your Instagram in a second. But, what is it like having a camera follow you, especially as we debate body cameras that should be, I think, in police departments around the country?
And I agree with that as well. It's different because a police car, that's our office. And so to have a camera crew with you, because it's a cameraman, a producer, and a sound person rolling around with you every Friday and Saturday night. So they're there not just when you're doing your job, but they're also there with you when you're calling your loved ones or you're talking to your kids on the phone about doing your homework. So, you have this almost intimate relationship with them in your car, but they're strictly there just to document your work.
Since you brought up loved ones, people know. I saw you at the Grammys. I was spying on you.
Yes, ma'am.
Your girlfriend is Lana Del Rey, the famous and very beautiful singer. How has this impacted your personal life? I mean, here you are, a cop, a police officer, and now you are on red carpets and you're a star on your own.
Yeah, it's, I kind of joke, it's like living two different lives. I mean, when I'm back home in Tulsa, where I spend 3/4 of my week, I'm a single father, police officer, and then come out to New York, I'm here on the Tamron Hall show, attending.
Or you're at the red carpet at
I'm
Clive
at the red
Davis'
carpet
party.
at the Grammys
How
a
do
few
you
weeks ago.
balance that? Because, you're now out there.
It's different,
Does
for
it make
sure.
you a target on your job, though?
No, actually, it's more than anything, it has helped the job. And I think the show as a whole has helped those of us in law enforcement because it kind of humanizes the badge as opposed to just being this, robot in a uniform. People start to understand our personalities by watching the show. And I have a lot of positive contacts with the public that otherwise I wouldn't have had without this type of show or being a part of it.
Dan, I know some cities didn't want the show there. Tulsa, I believe, was one of the divided on it. How do you convince a city that this is for the greater good, that this won't depict your town as crime-infested or the bad place to live?
Yeah, so the places where there's been challenges, it's primarily been over politics.
Yeah.
When it's the police and the police departments that are evaluating, do we like the way this is going? Is the hassle worth it? The answer is almost universally yes. And that's exactly for the reasons that Sean just laid out, which is it shows what everyday police work is. Meaning in the news media, we follow officer-involved shootings. This is about everything else that they do.
And Tom, your wife, 28 years, when she watches this show, and I probably would turn every day and say, Sean, I'm not going outside. This is crazy. How do you... There she is, beautiful.
Yes, that's my baby right there. But no, I've been in this crime-fighting television business for almost 25 years now. America's Most Wanted for 20 years. Your show, Deadline Crime, season 1, I was on.
Yes, you sure were.
So she's used to that. But what he was saying, another point is that the departments that have been with our show, like Richland County Sheriffs in South Carolina, they've been on Live PD from episode 1. We're at episode 283 now.
Oh.
And those departments have seen their recruitment increase because people watch how they conduct themselves in the street doing their jobs as sheriff's deputies. And people say, some guy in Arizona says, you know what? I like the way they operate. I want to be a Richland County Sheriff's deputy.
Wow.
So a lot of the departments that are on our show have seen their recruitment increase at a time when it's extremely difficult to get people to come forward to volunteer to become police cadets.
Well, it's powerful TV. Congratulations